Clay, I know it has to get approved first, but the idea of a pitcher using the Pitchcom device, calling their own pitches, you're one of a few Yankee pitchers who have started to experiment with it. What about that idea appeals to you?
Yeah, I think it's obviously pace of play is a huge thing right now. But just having the ability to just kind of stay in your rhythm. Obviously with me, I throw a lot of sinkers, and sometimes there's kind of a gut feeling when I want to throw a slider, and just may not want to shake to it. Because sinker is probably the better pitch, but for some reason I'm kind of more convicted in a slider, and it'd be nice instead of shaking to it just to be able to press a button, or if I want to go to another sinker. Just all kind of depends. I think just to stay within the rhythm, and if it's available, I think if you have at least want to experiment, try it out.
So the pitch clock rules have kind of led to the desire of potentially experimenting with Pitchcom.
Yeah, it's. It's available. It's obviously something that there's a focus on. Being aware of the clock and the ins and outs of the rules. Exactly the timing of when you can do things. So just having the ability to kind of speed things up or keep things at your pace, and throwing the pitches that you're convicted in, I think is important. So I think this is probably just another tool to kind of add in there to make those things happen.
I know, like you said, sinker, slider, not too many pitches that you have to call yourself, but if it does get approved, you start using it in some spring games, some exhibition contests. Tell us about the device. Is it it looks like a beeper on your waistband, but would you wear it on your waist, your wrist? Where would it be?
Yeah, so I saw some people wear it on the glove. We've been wearing it on the belt, and it was kind of worked fine with the belt. And I think it's just a matter of sometimes instead of wait till you get on the mound to get a pitch, you can kind of get the pitch before you get on the mound. You can kind of take your time if that's the time where you need to kind of brush your cleats off, and you may not have the extra seconds to shake off the pitch once you come set. It kind of gives you some extra time off the mound, and I think probably the main reason why somebody with two pitches might use it. But yeah, it's. We'll give it a go and just kind of see where it goes.
Your sinker, so much of your success has been riding on that one singular pitch, but in order to harness it, it takes a lot of work. So when your sinker is at its best, what's it doing?
I think when it's at its best, I'm just throwing it to a spot and trusting kind of the movement. Sometimes when I get too caught up in the movement, or if I'm uncertain of the movement, sometimes where I can start to overthink things. So for me, it's just finding that consistent delivery, kind of nailing some points in my delivery, and just trusting kind of where I start the pitch. And I think when I'm doing that, it's typically when I'm rolling, I'm not overthinking things. My body's just kind of moving athletically. I think when I start doing those things, I tend to get the movement I want more often. So I think for me, it's just finding that spot and really trusting it and allowing just the way my body's moving to make the ball do what it needs to do.
All right, let's go a little bit deeper into the weeds here with pitching, because I know you're big on information and hard data. When your sinker's going right, can you simplify for our viewers what the data is telling you?
Yeah, when my sinker's right, the movement profile is kind of close to the zero line as possible. So somebody with good vert, they're trying to get 20 inches of vert on their fastball, and I'm the opposite. I'm trying to go around the zero line. So yeah, if I'm getting kind of my 18, 19 inches of arm side run as close to the zero line as possible, the sinker is when it plays to both righties and lefties, and it's a really good pitch for me, especially in the zone. And if I can, that's why I kind of added the sweeper. It's kind of going 18 inches the other way, just kind of give me the look where things are crossing, and it's just kind of got to pick one, and I know if I can make those pitches, and I can trust the movement and just pound the zone.
So you had one spring outing last week. You have an idea of when your next one's going to be?
I think we're lined up for Wednesday here at home.
Okay. What were your first impressions of the pitch clock in game action?
Yeah, it creates a rhythm, and you got to stay within it. I think I felt myself at times trying to go too fast, and I almost realized that there's maybe a couple seconds where mentally I can slow down and just take a breath. Sometimes you feel like you kind of get so sped up where sometimes you forget to take a breath. And I think that once we get used to it, there'll be enough time where you do not have to slow yourself down within the pitch clock. But just going to take a few outings, and I'm glad we're getting to try it here in spring.
Last season, the Yankee bullpen pecking order sort of formed itself on the fly, and I think a lot of these roles have been established at the outset of this spring training. Does that make it easier for you as a unit in terms of going through your day-to-day?
I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that we need to be our best and be prepared. Obviously, there will be some sort of roles. We kind of all know our lanes and our strengths. I think that's something that's as a bullpen individually, we know what we're good at. We know what kind of hitters we can get out in our lanes. I think it just really helps us to feed off each other and kind of focus on what we can control. Because we know when we're all at our best and we're healthy, we can take care of any lineup, and I think we kind of feed off that and pride ourselves on kind of doing our job and passing the ball to the next guy. Obviously, it's a very talented and exciting group, and the guys that we can definitely learn from each other, but we have a good time. It's fun to be around a lot of the guys down there, so I'm looking forward to being with them, and I think it's going to be a good year down at the bullpen.